Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Nook podcast. It's been a while. Again, we're terrible with these, even though I'm unemployed. I'm back with the Obsidian Nook. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
I'm your host, Ever Peppermint, and we are here today with Ready or Not 2 Here I Come, which is a bit of a mouthful. You could just call it Ready or Not 2 or Ready or Not Here I Come.
I'd like to add was a bonus film.
It's a bonus.
Choice because we saw it at the cinema.
It's a bonus because we both wanted to watch it. Same with Scary Movie later this year, which is a while away. Did I just hear him turn his laptop on? Anyway, yeah. So we basically treat cinema trips as a joint one because obviously,
well, bonuses.
Yeah, we're brokies at the minute, and it was just a little treat. And we both wanted to watch the film, and we didn't want to. We've done it a while with films we've seen in the cinema. I think like December last year, when we had like Five Nights at Freddy's at that, we basically just gave up on. Because we had Five Nights at Freddy's and Zootopia, didn't we? And we both just went, we'll just call it joint ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a long-awaited sequel. I think it's been about 7 years since the first one, something like that.
I know I have the first one on DVD.
Yeah, 7 years.
Good. And you can currently watch the first one on Disney.
Yeah, I think it's Disney. Weirdly, doesn't seem like their sort of thing, especially with the amount of blood. But yeah, this is the sequel. Still a good film. I still prefer the first one. I think the first one you get more time to care about the characters, and the characters have more personality than just we need to kill you again.
I think if I remember correctly, the first one is a lot more blood. What do they call it when you explode?
Combustion.
Combustion. A bit more gore.
It's a bit more stylized as well, because it's got the big old manor and it's at night time.
I mean, I really liked Grace's dress because, like, she gets married again.
She gets remarried. The outfit design in this film is fantastic. We'll get to that. But yeah, so basically, because all of the Le Domas family is dead, that leaves the seat of power as like open to basically any of basically they're basically the Illuminati. Because David Cronenberg, who does loads of horror films, plays the like father that has to die according to the rules of the guy whose name I can't remember. Mr. LaBelle, that's it. I can't remember his fucking name. We both sat here just now going, what the fuck was his name? Basically Satan.
This was a few days ago we saw this.
Yeah, we went out yesterday, not yesterday, day before, and then you were still recovering yesterday, so we're trying to remember stuff. But yeah, so Mr. LaBelle, they're a Satan worshipping cult that literally rule everything, so pretty much the Illuminati. So yeah, because the family's died, they need to re-elect someone to be the new head. So the new head must die. The old head must die, which is David Cronenberg, who gets smothered by Daphne from Scooby-Doo, and a guy who, I swear to God, could have been played perfectly by Matthew Lillard. He reminded me... What's his name? Let me go to the cast list. Titus, Sean Hattersey. Honestly, he could have been played by Matthew Lillard, and he looked like Matthew Lillard. I couldn't get it out of my head in this film. I don't know what it was, but I could have seen him play it. I've never seen him in anything else, so forgive me. But yeah, they kill the dad, and then basically the ball is in play for power to be passed to whoever wins the game, which is once again basically hide and seek, but with different families, and a sister that now appears, which wasn't mentioned at all in the first film and wasn't set up, played by Catherine Newton, who we saw in quite a lot of stuff.
It was a lot. I always sat there and I wondered after the first one, like, when they talked about doing a second one, I was like, how the hell are they going to do this?
I can confirm this film ends definitively that we ain't getting a third one. Like, we are not gonna, unless they do a prequel. Would be pretty cool to see how it starts off, like how the game started. But I don't see. I see this as the end of Grace's story, where we're not gonna have her again.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
think
over.
they should definitely not do a third one. But I was very surprised with how they managed to carry a story, and it kind of felt like with Grace and
Faith was her name.
Faith, it was kind of heartwarming, but it felt like a lot of padding was put in place. Because it was like, oh, she was the Faith was the emergency contact, and like, you haven't contacted me for years. Because I think Grace like had to leave and couldn't take Faye with her. Faith.
Yeah, she left as soon as she turned 18, and because Faith was a few years younger, like, she had to stay behind, even though she begged to be taken with her, but then they both went their own ways and lived different lives, and they became estranged, and they don't like each other. It's well-trodden territory of people who are estranged, who come together, bonded by trauma. It's nothing too new. I think I could genuinely believe Catherine Newton and Samara Weaving being sisters, or like at least related semi. And they do have good chemistry, but there is just a lot of like needless arguing, which I guess makes sense. But
and I just felt like the gore was. I mean, I don't know what the stick-fit was for the first one.
I believe they were both.
This was a 15.
I think they were both 15s.
And considering the first one, like we said, had a lot of combustion, a lot of blood.
Which you can watch our review of, because we did that not that long ago, I think, when this got announced.
In the first one, there's one particular death where I really, like, kind of...
It's the dumbwaiter, obviously. That's the one you remember the most.
When you, like, watch a video and you can sometimes feel it.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
You can picture yourself in that position, being like, that must be horrifying. But yeah, going back to this film, it starts off straight after, and then pretty much immediately she's hunted by the families. One of them, who is played by Kevin Durand, as I mentioned, a coked-up, knife-throwing lunatic. I love Kevin Durand, but Kevin Durand, I don't know how you pronounce it, Durand, I don't know, Canadians, buggery boos, fun bucks. He decides that he wants to get the seat early and then explodes because of it. Little disappointed because it was in the trailers that he was going to explode, which I immediately thought, well, that's just a waste, because we've got Catherine Newton and Kevin Durand, who we just saw in Abigail not too long ago, who had such a nice little relationship. But I mean, it's memorable because it's like, oh yeah, the blood, and it makes Faith remember. Well, makes Faith realise that this is real. So then Elijah Wood comes in his suit and gas mask. He chews up scenery in every film, and every scene. He is dripped out to the max in all these like fine suits, and then this like ceremonial gear at the end. And he is just reveling in like people dying the whole time. Like when I won't go into some details just yet. The families are really cool because they have to use weapons from when their family joined the cult. So the later masters mainly use like crossbows and axes, which would suggest it was like medieval times. We'll go with that. There is a couple of brothers from the Middle East. We don't really get much of what they get to use, but he has this sort of golden mask on, the older brother, and he has like a kukri. The Asian family have like katanas. I think it's just a katana because the son doesn't get to participate because he's a Zoomer who's on his Nintendo Switch the whole film.
Yeah.
A bit unfairly, the Spanish family, they get modern weaponry, but they are fucking incompetent as anything at using them. Like, the dad can't shoot to save his life. He's really inexperienced with guns. The daughter fires a law launcher backwards, which is fair because it is a launcher that's just a tube. It doesn't have a sight or anything that I know of. There's probably people out there who are more experienced with weaponry, but it is just a tube rocket. It's designed to be portable, as opposed to lugging around a giant missile launcher, so it can collapse. But her firing that backwards was funny, because a rocket launcher would have changed this whole film.
And then Grace is just there with a shotgun, just like bang 3 times, I think.
Oh yeah. Now that we've gone into a bit about the families, I don't know if there's any families I'm missing. Like, the Dansworths are basically the same. The Danforths, sorry, they basically have the same weapons as what's it called? The later Masters. Like, they're like warhammers and like sword. Like, no, she has like a flintlock pistol, which is honestly just pick a melee weapon instead. A flintlock takes too long to reload, even if it is a gun. Access the Spanish family, the Danforths. Yeah, I think that's it. And Bill Wilkinson is just a dude who throws knives around and then gets blown up anyway, so he's not important. So yeah, that's pretty much our laydown. So there's a loophole that they fought that the Asian matriarch finds where, because she had her lawyers go through the book, and turns out if you marry into the family, you can survive, and the game is basically nullified. So like, if you, because she offers for Grace to marry her son, she would still have to participate in everything, but she wouldn't be in the games. She would be the hunters, and have to be like present for the sacrifices and all that voodoo stuff with Satan, which she declines. And then the Spanish father comes in and they have a little scuffle, and then, as per the rules, which I'm going to lay out now, which isn't used as much, unfortunately, if the hunters can't kill each other, there's no rule against killing members of their own family. That's important to add. If they disobey these rules, they and their bloodline are cursed to just go pop. So the Asian lady accidentally stabs the Spanish father through the neck. He dies, the kids don't. Another thing is, if the eldest person of the family dies, the kids have to take over. Like, the next oldest person has to take over. So he dies, because the mother accidentally killed him, her and her son go pop. She goes pop pretty quick. Everyone in the control room realises what's going to happen, except for the kid, who's still busy on his Switch. You just get Elijah Wood, pick the book up, and go behind the, I don't know, the pedestal or whatever, where they've signed their names in blood. And because he knows what's about to happen, and he slinked down like Lily does in the Outlast Trials into the barrels. And then, of course, a pop. Yeah. Other than that, what have we got? We've got the Middle Eastern guy who goes on the hunt, Viraj, his name is. He goes after them. They have a little scuffle in the laundry room as they break out their handcuffs, because they're handcuffed together, the sisters. They then lock him in an industrial washing machine, and they boil him alive, which is not pleasant. Not as gory as I would expect, but then again, he did get steamed, and they did stop it because they thought, hey, he may have a phone on him, which I think he does, doesn't he? Except because they use it to call 911, but they own 911. So I think they steam him before he starts to. They stop the steaming before he fully melts, and then his dickhead brother makes his wife sign it instead, and then she just leaves. Presumably she's dead somewhere, because, spoiler alert, everybody goes pop in the end, except for the lawyer, because he is the representative, he's not actively participating. Yeah, so the actual hunters, not a lot of them really die in the film until the end, because eventually Titus, the dickhead he is, the son of the original leader, he captures Faith, and then Grace decides to marry him with that rule, because the lawyer even confirms that yes, you can do that to end the game and no one else has to die. His sister then decides, I've just realised my brother is a psycho, you need to help me. Titus overhears that and proceeds to murder his sister by snapping her neck, which is quite sad, as Grace sort of traumatised stares on. Quite sad, really. I don't know if she was trying to manipulate Grace into just having power, but obviously the rules are that there's nothing against killing a member of your own family, including those you marry, as we will now go into at the end. So, of course, Titus gets his ring because he has won the game. He gets his power. There's a big black wedding where they're all dripped out in this black suit. Grace has got this really cool looking wedding dress on. It's very cool. They go into this big pit, like a big altar room with a big pit in the middle where they sacrifice the goats. I realised I just skipped over the daughter of the Spanish guy getting absolutely pumped with a shotgun. And where they both get pepper sprayed in the eyes, and they're having like a blind... You did a bit, yeah. When Grace is going to find Faith, she arms herself with a shotgun, like you said, and comes across her and just blasts her. She's so done with it. Because if you remember in the first one, she finds a shotgun, except it's not real. It's for display purposes. Because she thinks, I've got the upper hand. And then she tries to fire it, and it's like, yeah, it's not real. This one, it was. And she blows this fucking vengeful ex-fiancé away. But also... So yeah, you got the wedding. The wedding is very cool. You've got all the cultists that are just here now. Don't mind them. Like, they're there for the wedding. And just as they get married and she's officially part of the family, she then uses the sharp end of the pen to... I didn't even count how many times she stabbed him in the neck. It was a lot, and he somehow still sat... Like, she kills Titus, stabs him loads in the neck, and then kicks him into the pit onto, like... I don't know if it was like a goat horn, or if there was a spike at the bottom of the pit.
I think it was like a goat horn.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
It's something like that, but you don't really see it. He just gets impaled on it. It's not a big horn, it just sort of is enough to go through his heart and kill him. So she then has the ring because she is the successor. She says, what happens if someone's not wearing the ring before dawn? And Elijah Wood says, he's literally called the lawyer, but I'm just going to call it Lawyer Bilbo. No, Lawyer Frodo. Wrong film. You talk about The Hobbit too much, and Bilbo Baggins is in my head. But they literally do the fucking. I kept turning to you and doing the Jimmy Crystal thing from 28 Years Later because I kept doing that with their hands. I hope you understood that I wasn't just mental doing that.
Yeah. But no.
Yeah. So he says there's only a few minutes, and so she just flings the ring into the pit.
She removes herself, though.
She willingly removes herself from the family, which, according to the rules, spares her. So she flings the ring of power into the pit, which basically means it's a free-for-all for everyone. So they all jump in and start stabbing each other and beating the fuck out of each other. Everyone except the lawyer, of course, because he's got as much power as he needs, and there's a rule that he can't participate. But everyone who's still alive from the families, well, except for the Middle Eastern brother, he decides not to because he thought, because he signed his thing away to his wife, that he was going to be fine. But presumably she goes pop off screen because she was part of it. She was part of the family because he then goes pop as well. So, yeah. And that's about it. They go away, they take a goat that was going to be sacrificed, and they pretty much literally walk off into the sunset. It sort of ended, they reconcile, and they all live happily ever after. And you get Mr. LaBelle, who appears and nods again. There's a callback to when they all went pop in the first film. So yeah, that's just a quick little rundown. So yeah, I did enjoy this. I heard before we watched it that this film is good, but it's not as good as the first, and I think I have to agree. I think the characters in the first film, not everyone wants to kill her, and they're a bit more humanized. There's more time in the first film spent with characters to see them as people. Like, they get more time to develop. Whereas in this one, it's immediately just like capture, hunt, kill her. Like, that's it. And they're basically just out for themselves. Whereas,
it's the gore.
oh my god, the first one wasn't even. I think the first one wasn't as gory as you remember.
Yeah, but the first one, like, he starts off in a white wedding dress and it slowly turns red, gets ripped, and gets altered.
And she gets shot through the hand.
They bring the dress back, but then she doesn't wear it for...
She wears it for a good chunk of the film.
And then we go to the black wedding dress, which is still pretty.
Yeah.
I won't lie, but I don't know. It feels like it just doesn't hit the same as the first one. It's the same with Freaky Friday and Mean Girls. Like,
you watched both of the sequels, did you, for them?
Yeah, when they try and do like a remake or years later, they then try and add another.
They try to reboot it. Some films don't need sequels.
It's like with Scary Movie. It was good when the Wayans brothers did the first. Like,
that's why I have so much hope that this one that's coming out this year is going to be good.
And then after that, it kind of didn't hit the same because obviously it wasn't done by them.
It lost its humour. And I'm looking forward to White Chicks too when they do that. That one will also be good. I just like how they don't care. We may actually have the return of good comedy films again. It was good to have Naked Gun. Naked Gun was a good reboot. I hope they keep going with that. I think Liam Neeson is really good for that kind of role. But anyway, back to this film. So yeah, this one it's a good sequel. Like I say, it definitely ends in a way where I don't think we'll get another one unless it shows more of a prequel side to it all. Like, it's definitely a wrap-up of Grace's story. And I think it's fine that way. Would have wanted more Elijah Wood. I think he chewed up every scene he was in. He was just vibing. He just reveled in the chaos. I still think you should watch it, especially if you've seen the first one. Obviously, because this follows up immediately after the first one. Watch the first one. Now we have to get into the interesting territory of what can be best kill, worst kill. Now, the best kill we could give to the blood, but I think the blood is the easy cop-out. I'm going to have to give it to the washing machine, melting him alive.
Fair enough.
What about you?
I generally cannot make my mind, so I'm going to agree with whatever you choose.
You can just pass.
Okay, I'll pass.
You'll pass. All the kills are pretty good, to be fair. There's good gore and good practical effects. Even it was hard for me to decide between either the washing machine or the bloodbath at the end with a big fight. But I think because we'd already seen the big blood explosions before, I was just sort of like, nah, you know. I was like, we've seen it before, even if it is loads of people doing it. Plus, being boiled alive in a washing machine has probably happened before. I can see that being more realistic and more horrifying. Plus, he screams throughout most of it. It's a horrifying way to go.
I think, unfortunately, something not involving a washing machine, but an industrial, cooker, where a bloke got trapped in because his workers didn't check and just closed the door.
Yeah.
I found that on TikTok. it was like I just had it come up on my For You page, like the horrifying ways to go.
Yeah. Any way of being burned alive with severe heat is like the worst way to go. Because I don't know if you've accidentally burned yourself on something, but even that hurts. But can you imagine that until you die? Worst kill. I want to say the wife of the brother, but because that's not confirmed, it's only implied. Because obviously he goes pop as well, and it would make sense because he's still in the family. And I guess she was older than him, I'm assuming. Hence why she was able to, like, take over. Or it can go to that random dead. I don't even know if he's dead, but there's a body in the lift in the hospital when Elijah Wood and someone else come out in the gas mask with tear gas or knockout gas. I don't know if he was dead. I'm assuming so because they can just do what they want. It's difficult because everyone else dies quite well. I'm just gonna say the wife. I think the wife, just because I think it's implied that she went pop as well after escaping. What about you? Pass.
I was gonna give it to the worst kill, because the one at the beginning where he tried to cheat, he didn't really get any character development.
I think that was the point, is that he was just a prick that was trying to cheat.
Oh yeah, but like...
Plus, I mean, I think he is cool. It's Kevin Durand. Like, I love it. I pretty much love anything he's in. Like, he was so good in Abigail when he was with Catherine Newton and that. He was so funny.
But then saying that, there was other characters in there, like the Nintendo Switch guy, and then the one who just not just watching the CCTV instead. Well, I just felt like they were useless characters. They didn't really need to be in the film at all.
Yeah, the Dan's Danforths or whatever they were. They had a cousin who was basically comedic effect that was just there.
Because he was just constantly watching CCTV, having little snacks and I think margaritas or something.
Yeah, I think he was just a comic relief character, but he dies in the big bloodbath at the end. I don't know. It's difficult. We could even give it to Titus's sister that gets her neck broken. That's pretty lame.
That was sad.
That was sad, though. I think the sadness sort of makes that a bit more... I think it gives it a bit more leeway to being decent. I don't know. Wait till Dead Meat gives it a proper analysis whenever it comes to digital. We're not trying to cover kills. We're trying to talk about films by ourselves, pretty much. Anyway, it's still my go at some point, unless we cover no films until June.
I'm sure
I will. I have plenty of weird shit in the collection. Because it's good covering mainstreams, but I like to throw the weird films in there as well, even if they aren't good.
Yeah.
It just mixes up a bit, gives a bit more exposure to the weirder films, you know.
I just don't understand how you find these weird films.
Lots of it is Dead Meat. He covers weird stuff. He literally said because this year is his 10 year, that he's going to be like, I'm going to do films that you asked for. Like, we're going to be doing weeklies, so we're going to be doing films that you want, and then films that I want. And he's like, and I'm going to pick some old shit, and it's going to be weird. Because the weird ones are the funniest.
Because, like, you did, like, The Stuff. And then there was...
I don't think Dead Meat did that.
Then there was that weird one that was on Amazon, where they were just in the house, like, the voiceover was really...
No, that was Netflix. Was
really
it another horror story or something?
Just wearing a mask and then killing people.
I can't remember.
It was about porridge, weren't it?
Porridge. Oh! Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Blood and Porridge. Yeah, that was awful. I thought that would be at least funny, but it was just bad. It was just plain bad. We ain't even done Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That'll be at some point. I've got some ideas, but I want to do films that we actually like and not just waste my choice. Anyway, it's been long enough. It's been a long episode. It's been about half an hour, so we'll end it here because we are just going on a side tangent like we always do. I believe the next review will be me and Morgan both watched a film, so whenever he comes online, we're going to do that. That'll probably come out Monday. I believe I will get this out for tomorrow. I don't know. We are wrapping up our Star Wars prequels, and then we will move on to the original trilogy at some point. But for now, I've been your host as ever, Pub Monet, joined by the Obsidian Nook. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.